wanted to show you that kind of complements the sgraffito and the stenciling with the dry powders is using the dry screen printing. What I have here are what are called Riso screens. I'm going to show you how to use them today. You can use them with the dry enamels. It's problematic in using them with the spraying. You definitely can't dip or brush, but you could potentially hold some of these up against your design, up against your metal and spray through it and get some results. You're going to have to practice a little bit with that, but it definitely works very well with the dry screen printing. To use these, it can be done on flat metal, or it can be done on slightly domed metal. And I'm going to use the red on this white. What you do want to have some quarters. I don't think I put the quarters on your supply list, but you do need some quarters, and I usually put one underneath my piece so that I can pick it up easily later, all right? I'm going to dry screen print my design onto my piece of metal. I want some space between the screen and the piece of metal, unlike what you would do if you were screen printing ink. If you were screen printing ink onto fabric or paper, you would want the screen in direct contact with the ink or with the paper or the fabric. Here you need to have a little bit of space so the enamel powder can fall. Okay, there needs to be a place for the enamel powder to go, because the enamel particles are bigger or thicker than the thickness of the screen. Okay, they'll go through, but you need to stack a couple up so you can see your design. So to get that distance, I'm putting a couple of quarters at each corner. And I will then set my screen down in a way that my design hits my piece of metal and my edges are supported, so that I can put my fingers down like this and nothing moves, okay? You need to have hotel room key. Don't use your credit card, don't use your driver's license. You don't know what that glass is going to do to the magnetic strip. You can use the enamel right out of the jar. So you can sprinkle a little enamel, just like you would with screen printing ink, right across the top, and then drag your squeegee across the screen, and then you have your design. Now this takes practice, just like everything else. It looks easy when somebody who's done it a gajillion times does it, but there you see your design. I used no clear fire. It's the surface tension that is holding it in place. If I tap it, it all falls off, okay? So you want to be able to practice. If you use the glue, meaning clear fire and water mixture, and you squeegee your enamel across there and your screen touches your metal, you now have the glue stuck to the screen, and you got to wash your screen out, and you got to dry it, and you got to start over. If you're finding that you're getting unevenness, you may need to come back and instead of dumping it straight out of the jar, you want to run it through one of these sifters. So the screen size is, I think it's 90 mesh. Okay, so you want to use something smaller than 100 mesh, something that's going to go through the 90 mesh. So I'm going to take out 100 mesh, and I'm going to sift out 100 particles that are smaller than 100 mesh, so I know that it goes through my screen without any trouble. And then I'm going to move back and forth. And that's better. I still have a light coat. If I want a more dense coat, I need to go back and forth more times. The thing about firing two pieces at one time, you want to think about having similar colors. You want to be sure that your piece fits on the trivet before you do your design, in case it doesn't fit on the trivet. And then this is where you need to, not too much coffee, chocolate, sugar, you know. This is not the thing you want to do at 10 o'clock at night when you're tired. And because it's dry and there was no glue on it, I can send it right into the kiln and watch my temperature controller. This is the fun part. This is the part where we just wait until the temperature goes down, and then as the piece that I put enamel on and the trivet and the firing rack get hot, then the temperature will come back up. And what we're doing is watching the temperature so that when it gets to about 1450, we will take the piece out of the kiln and look at it and see what we've got. All right, that's a little better. So we can let that cool, and you can see the difference in the design between the red on white and the red on gray. If your piece sticks to the trivet like that, let it cool before you go any further. And then just gently tap the side of the trivet to get your piece off. Generally, I like to wait a little bit longer, and then just gently, like I was showing you, just kind of deciding if it seems to be sticking. That way you'll break the enamel where it's touching the trivet, instead of if you're trying to lift it up and you get these long strings, you just do more damage with those long strings.
Let's get a little